Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to get your cameras back online if you've had them online previously and all of a sudden you cannot get remote access anymore with them through your phones. And this is the video you'll want to watch. This is for if you still have your cameras working on Blue Iris at your home computer, just not remotely, away from the house on your phone or other devices. So first of all, we'll open Blue Iris here, and then we're going to close it. Are you sure you want to close? Yes. And that way, if something changed with an IP address, closing it and reopening it can update that. Okay, once it closes, we'll go ahead and reopen it here. Okay, and once that reopens, we're going to click on the options button up here in the top left. It looks like a gear. And then we're going to click on this web server tab right here. So what we're looking for here is this remote external WAN access address. And I've got mine whited out here except for my port number. But that's the number you're looking for. And that is subject to change. And what that is your public IP address that your internet service provider gives you. And now that is usually a dynamic address, meaning that they can change it from time to time. If it's changing all the time, you might talk to them about making that static. They may end up charging you a little bit extra. But normally this number will only change, once or twice a year. If that's the case, it's not a big deal. You just come in here, double check what that is, and then you'll have to update the WAN address within your Blue Iris app. So to do that, you just open up the app, you'll edit the server, and change that WAN address to match what this is now. If you still can't access your cameras remotely, even after checking that address, if that address didn't change or updating it didn't help, then what you can do is run through this remote access wizard again. We'll go ahead and click on that. We'll click next here, and then even if this comes up with the green check mark, we're going to go ahead and click create update rule again. Okay, now we'll click next. You should get a green check mark on this next page, and that's just showing that you do have internet access. So we'll click next. And this page is double checking that your port is good. My port is 7070 and I've got a green check mark. You can have a different port there than mine, it doesn't matter. You do want it to be something other than 80 though. So if you haven't already done that, you'll want to follow the video of putting Blue Iris online, the easy method. And that was back when you were first in the web server page. You can change that port number there. So we'll go ahead and click next here. And this page is just double checking that your router is at 192.168.1.1 and it is showing what your external address is. We don't really need to worry about that for the purposes of this wizard, so we'll go ahead and click next. So this is the page that is going to do the port forwarding again. So if for some reason you've lost your port forwarding, you can do it again here through a process called Universal Plug and Play, which automatically does the port forwarding through your router. So we'll go ahead and click on that, use UPnP to automatically add this rule. And then you might have other stuff that shows up here. If you don't, that's fine, but what you want to click is Add Blue Iris. Should say working. And it should have added it there. Now I've already done this separately, so mine didn't add it, but you should see that show up with your port number as well as your LAN address there. So we'll go ahead and click OK there, and then next again. Okay, now this page is just making sure that everything's working. We've got a green check mark, so we'll go ahead and click next. And now this page is just showing you all of your settings for your Blue Iris app. I've got mine whited out here. You'll need your license key, your WAN address, your LAN address, as well as your username and password. Now if you had this working before, you should already have this info and it should work, but it wouldn't hurt to double check that all these settings are the same. And we'll go ahead and click next here, and then we can go ahead and click finish. Now your cameras should be working again remotely. If they are not, there's a couple other things you could try. If you have McAfee or Norton antivirus running, those can cause Blue Iris to not be able to go online, so you might want to disable them. You can go into settings in those and allow the port to go through. Hopefully we'll have a video for that in the future as well. The other issue could be that the universal plug and play method of port forwarding is not working anymore, or hasn't worked in the past. So then you would need to do the harder method, which is actually logging into the router itself to do the port forwarding. We do have a video for that. That is getting Blue Iris online via the harder method. You do need to log into your router with that method. It's a little bit more complicated just because every router is different. It's still not complicated, it's just harder to explain through a video. There's a lot of resources online for different models of router. So if you do follow that video, just look online for your router and it should be pretty straightforward.